Hi all, this is Professor Disha Shukla and I am conducting the subject wireless communication. My today's topic is channel and co-channel interference reduction factor. What do you mean by co-channel interference? We have already seen in the previous video that co-channels are the channels that utilizes the same frequency band and hence they are assigned the same frequency band so that they can be reused. And whenever an interference occurs between the co-channel cells, it is called a co-channel interference. Now there should be some kind of measures to reduce this co-channel interference, and how to reduce it can be measured using the co-channel interference reduction factor. So here we'll be learning about that. So the channel and the co-channel interference reduction factor says that whenever you are reusing an identical frequency channel in different cells, it is limited by the co-channel interference between the cell, and the co-channel interference can become a major problem. So whenever you are using the frequency channel, that is whenever you are reusing a particular frequency channel in different cell, it can happen that the co-channel interference is generated and it can become a major problem. Now here we would like to find the minimum frequency reuse distance in order to reduce this co-channel interference. As we have already seen that this only solution to the co-channel interference is by placing those cells physically apart, that is the distance should be made such that there won't be a lot of co-channel interference. And so here we will be calculating the minimum frequency reuse distance, that is at what distance or what minimum distance should we assign the cell, a particular cell, the similar frequency so that the co-channel interference can be reduced. Now we will be assuming that the size of all the cell is roughly the same. See, whenever we are talking about anything on paper, we say that the cells are hexagonal and they are divided equally throughout the area. But when we actually divide a particular cell or a particular area into the hexagonal cell, it may vary in their size. But in this concept, we are assuming that the size of all this cell is roughly the same. Now the cell size is determined by the coverage area of the signal strength in each cell. That is, we can define that a particular cell, how can you define a particular cell's size is by the coverage area of the signal strength. That is, in every cell we say there is a base station. So the signal that is generated by that base station, how much area can it cover, that such that the signal strength remains the same. See, as we already know that the signal strength of a particular BS or a particular transmitter decreases as the distance increases. So up to some level we can say that the signal strength is maintained. So the cell size will be determined based on that area, that is the area up to which a particular cell can transmit, the transmitter in that particular cell's signal's strength will be the same. Now as long as the cell size is fixed, co-channel interference is independent of the transmitted power of each cell. Now here the co-channel interference will be independent of the transmitted power of each cell when the cell size is fixed, because we are assuming that all the cells are roughly same and their size is fixed. The co-channel interference will be independent of the transmitted power, that whatever power a particular cell is transmitting, it will be independent of the co-channel interference. Now what does this mean? So it means that the received threshold level at the mobile unit is adjusted to the size of the cell. Now actually a co-channel interference is a function of parameter Q, that is defined as Q is equal to D by R. Now how do you define a co-channel interference? Co-channel interference is defined by a parameter known as Q, and that is a function of D and R, that is D by R. Now here the parameter Q is the co-channel interference reduction factor, that is the factor that we are calculating. Q is the co-channel interference reduction factor. Now when the ratio Q increases, the co-channel interference decreases. As the ratio Q increases, the co-channel interference decreases, because Q is the co-channel interference reduction factor. Now further, the separation D in the equation is a function of Ki and C upon I. Here the function, here in this equation, D is the separation distance, and again separation distance is dependent on Ki and Ci, where Ki is the number of co-channel interfering cell in the first tier, and C upon I is the received carrier to interference ratio at a desired mobile receiver. What is D? D is the separation, that is the distance that we are talking about between the two co-channel cells. Now this D is a function of Ki and C upon I, where Ki is the number of co-channel interfering cells, that is the number of co-channel interfering cells in a particular area is defined by Ki, that too in the first tier. What do you mean by first tier? First tier is the immediately connected cells to a particular cell. Say for example, we have a hexagon and we have 6 different sizes of this hexagon, so there will be 6 cells in the first tier. So Ki is the number of co-channel interfering cell in that first tier. Now C upon I is the received carrier to interference ratio. What do you mean by carrier to interference ratio? Interference ratio is the interference that is generated between the two signals, and carrier to interference ratio is, carrier is what, something that we use for transmitting a particular signal. As we already know that each and every signal has certain strength, and when it travels a particular distance, the strength decreases. So what do? Is we add that particular signal to a carrier frequency and then we transmit it. So C upon I is the ratio of carrier to interference, and it will be based on, it will be calculated for the mobile device that receives it. In a fully equipped hexagonal shaped cellular system, there are always 6 co-channel interfering cells in the first tier. As I already told you that for a particular hexagon there will be 6 different cells that will be the interfering cell in the first tier, that is Ki is equal to 6. So the maximum number of Ki in the first tier can be shown as 6, that is 2 pi d upon d, that is equivalent to 6. Now the co-channel interference can be experienced both at the cell site and at the mobile unit in a center cell. So in a particular cell, the co-channel interference can be experienced at both the sides, that is even at the cell site and at the mobile unit side. Now if the interference is much greater than the carrier to interference ratio, that is the Ci, at the mobile unit caused by the 6 interfering site, and the interfering site is the same as the Ci received at the center site, that is if the interference is very high, then this value of Ci ratio at the mobile unit side and at the center cell site will be same. It will be almost same. It will be caused by the interfering mobile units in the 6 cells. We saw that both of them, the interference can be experienced at the both the cell unit, cell site and the mobile unit. But when there is interference is much greater, then the Ci ratio, the Ci ratio at the mobile unit and the Ci ratio at the cell site would be the same. So when the size of each cell is the same and the BSS transmits the same power, the co-channel interference ratio is dependent on R and D, where R is the radius of a cell and D is the distance between the center of the nearest co-channel cell. That is, each and every cell has a particular center, and when we connect the two center and we calculate the distance, that will be our parameter D, and R will be the radius of the cell, that is the radius of the hexagon. So Q is equal to D upon R is equal to the co-channel reuse ratio, and that is again equal to the special separation between the co-channel cells, that is relative to the coverage distance of the cell. So basically Q is a ratio that will be I mean it is the ratio between the distance between the nearest co-channels and the radius of a cell. It is actually the spatial separation between the co-channel cells that is relative to the coverage distance of a cell. So the interference is reduced when Q is increased, that is improved isolation of radio frequency energy from the co-channel cells. Q is generally related to the cluster size for a hexagonal geometry. Now again the Q is a factor of the cluster size. How many cells form a cluster, that is again a factor that will be dependent that will be responsible for the calculation of Q, that is our co-channel interference reduction ratio Q. So the frequency reuse, how can we see that in an example is, say for example the frequency reuse factor is given as 1 by n, and here the each cell is assigned 1 by n of the total channel. So the lines joining a cell and each of its neighbors are separated by a multiple of 60 degree, and certain cluster cell sizes and the cell layouts are possible. So the geometry of a hexagon is such that the number of cells per cluster, that is n, can only have the values which satisfy the equation n is equal to I square plus ij plus j square. See, in a particular hexagonal geometry, the number of cells per cluster n, we define n as the number of cells in a particular cluster. And how can we determine the value of n? It can be determined by this particular equation, that is I square plus ij plus j square. Say for example n is the cluster. Now n is typically would be having the size of 4, 7 or 12, that is generally a particular cluster will have 4 cells or 7 cells or 12 cells, and in GSM normally the n is equal to 7 is used, and here the I and j are the integers for I is equal to 3 and j is equal to 2. What is I and j? We will be seeing here. See, say for example we have a particular cell over here, that is our cell A. Now I is the number of cells that will be in the straight line. See here, this is the first cell, this is the second cell, and this is the third cell. So I is equal to 3, and j is the cell that will be at a 60 degree from the third ith cell. Say for example this is my third ith cell, then the cell that will be located at a 60 degree to this, that is this 2. So here the j will be 2. So actually what does this mean is that we have here a cluster of 19 cells, and here where the i's value will be 3 and j's value will be 2. So we can reuse the so we have a cell over here that is using a frequency of A, and we can reuse the same frequency at this particular cell. How did we calculate this particular cell? By I is equal to 3 and j is equal to 2. So this is the way we calculate that which cell can be allocated the same frequency based on the number of cells in a particular cluster. So a larger cluster size n indicates that the ratio between the cell radius and the distance between the co-channel cell is larger. As and when the cluster size increases, it indicates that the ratio between the cell radius and the distance is larger, that is the reduction factor is larger. And conversely, a smaller cluster size indicates that a co-channel are located much closer, that is the co-channel cells will be located much closer in a cluster that has a smaller size. The value for n is a function of how much interference a mobile or a base station can tolerate while maintaining a sufficient quality of communication. And from a design point of view, the smallest possible value of n is desirable in order to maximize the C. So the frequency reuse factor of a cellular system is given by 1 by n, since each cell within a cluster is only assigned 1 by nth of the total available channel in a system. So basically the co-channel interference reduction ratio Q is defined by d upon r, where d is the distance, the diameter of a particular hexagon, and r is the distance between the center of the two co-channel cells. And again we also saw that this distance is again a parameter of Ki and C, where Ki is the number of cells in a cluster and C upon I is the co-channel interference ratio. So again that is dependent on the number of clusters, that is dependent on the cluster size, where cluster size is gained by the value of I and j, and it is gained by the equation I square plus ij plus j square. So this is all about the frequency reuse reduction ratio. How can we reduce the co-channel interference, and and how can we define the factor that we have? If you have any questions, you can ask me. Thank you.